So a plethora of things have happened in the world of the Transformers, everything from cartoon storyboards for the original G1 cartoon to New York Toy Fair, just concluding now and showing some interesting things. We have a comic book that's going to be coming out this week that's going to bring us into the Transformers fully into, with the new continuity that they're doing with comic books. And we've also got a lot of listings for the Transformers Legacy United toy line. That's all for 2024, what we're probably going to see out of that. And I'm going to talk about that and more. So without further ado, let's sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch on my spring store today. So as I said before, New York Toy Fair is kicking off this weekend, and they are showing off some things on their toys as far as different brands, everything from G.I. Joe and Play-Doh, and at least as far as Hasbro, they're celebrating, they're saying 100 years of play. And obviously I'm not in New York City right now, and the Javits Center is where they usually hold it, and normally they hold it in February. But this year they're doing it differently because they're focusing more so on trying to get the toys out to more retailers. And I think because like Walmart and Target only have so much shelf space, and Toys R Us is trying to make a comeback. So I think this is an appeal to pretty much all places that sell action figures and toys. Hey, these are the kind of products that we sell. Put them on your shelves, kind of thing. Because toy hunting is not the same as it used to be. Pretty much nowadays you have to go to, I pretty much at this point now stick to the online deal. I have, affiliate links with Entertainment Earth and Amazon, at least as far as trying to get the action figures. But I mean, if I had some more sponsorships, of course, I would use those sponsorship links in the description. But, at least as far as me being a Transformers fan, at least trying to help the fans find the figures they're looking for, because it's kind of hard out there. You ever go out toy hunting, sometimes you find the same stuff shelf warming for various different lines, not just for Transformers, but for other stuff too, and it just sits. And yet online, they'll sell out pretty quickly. But it's a different market nowadays. But still, they actually did show some new product. They had first and foremost, they already had Studio Series there, showing off Mirage with the blue on the front of the crest. I wish his whole head was blue to match the movie a little bit better. But they also had some new Earthspark stuff. Now, I am not a person who is a big fan of Earthspark. It just didn't really appeal to me, at least as far as watching. I watched the first 10 episodes, and then some folks are telling me I need to see the rest of the show, but I was like, eh. But, you have Twitch and you have Robbie Malto, and they're doing something again. We're bringing Transformers Energon with the power linking, or as it was known in Japan as super linking, or maybe you might want to call it crash combining from Robots in Disguise. They're bringing that back into the toy line with new action figures. And they're not actually crash combining. They're quite literally doing the same thing as Transformers Energon and having one robot be the top and one robot be the bottom. And in this case, Robbie Malto is a human wearing an exosuit that transforms as if it is a Transformer and merging with Twitch. And I think it's kind of cool. But again, like myself, I'm not necessarily interested in it because I'm not a huge fan of Earthspark. But to those who are, it's perfect for that. Getting a closer look at the robot modes, yeah, they look decent. Twitch herself, she's kind of like, I think the proportions are a little off on her. For this particular robot, it's fine, but it's more so because the toy has the gimmick, which is really what it boils down to. And of course, you have Twitch here in her hovercraft mode, but Robbie doesn't have a transforming suit except for the fact that it merges with Twitch. So that is kind of cool, I will say. And the other one is Bumblebee with Mo. So it's the same thing. One is wearing a mech suit that transforms into, part of the other robot. And you have Bumblebee. And it does look very Transformers Energon-like. I'm not going to lie. Bumblebee in car mode, same thing. Car mode doesn't look necessarily that great. I think they did an okay job here. But the combined form, I guess, works for what they were going for. But this is something that, like, it doesn't interest me that much, but I'm happy for the Earthspark fans who are seeing more creative designs out of toys trying to make a comeback. At least this is something different. And if you watch Earthspark, I'm sure that you're probably really interested in this. The question is that will it show up in the show? Because a lot of the toy gimmicks that we've seen out of Cyberverse, but they didn't show up in the show. And the same thing with pretty much a lot of the Transformers series, in more recent years, it's been like that. So I'm hoping that if they're going to do something like this with the whole, cyber combiner, as they're calling it, if they're going to do that, then I hope that at least it shows up in the show. Now, I also want to talk about Skybound and how they are launching the next Transformers comic books. They've already done so with Void Rivals, if you've been picking up the issues so far. It's more of a space adventure with some different types of characters. Some are familiar and some are brand new. But the Transformers officially having their very own introduction with this new continuity in the comic books is doing so here with Transformers #1, written by Daniel Warren Johnson. I believe he's doing the interiors, and Mike Spicer is doing some of the art. I know he's doing the covers. I actually met Mike Spicer at Ocala Comic-Con, and he actually handed me this. And if you'll notice just by looking at this, that Ratchet's got the cross on his chest, on his shoulders, but they had to remove that for the official release because, well, you can't have the crosses on, a red cross on a white background because of the American Red Cross. And so that was something that had to get removed, which is the reason why Studio Series 86 Ratchet has a different symbol on his chest, on his shoulder. I keep saying chest, but it's shoulders. So that being said, I am looking forward to this comic. It's a back to the basics, introduces people to the world of the Transformers as if you've never read the Transformers before, showing us right back to the roots, the source material, and knowing that Daniel Warren Johnson is a fan of that is a cool thing. And I'm hoping that the stories are good, because that's really the bottom line. No matter whether or not the art's got to be good, the story's got to be good. And, because the IDW's second continuity, it was a challenge to actually read that. So I'm looking forward to this, and you can look forward to seeing more of these Transformers comic books in the future. But taking us back to the past, I do want to point out the Sunbow Marvel Archive has acquired the scans and a lot of cool stuff for the making of the original Transformers cartoon. We get to see an unproduced season 2 intro sequence, and there's some unproduced commercial bumpers and different storyboards and notes and production notes that show us how they were trying to make this TV show work when it came out. And it's really, really cool to see all of this stuff all together. Personally, I can't wait till they actually get their hands on season 3 stuff, because then you can really dive into the mind of the writer and what they were trying to produce out of the third season, because the first season and the second season feel a lot more, they don't feel as rushed as season 3 did. But it's really cool to see this stuff online, so you should definitely check out their website. Now, this really, really got me excited. If you haven't already picked up on the fact that Beast Wars, it is the truth, that Beast Wars saved the franchise, and Silverbolt was one of my favorite characters in Beast Wars. I know a lot of people give him a lot of flack for being chivalrous, and because nowadays in today's society, they don't love chivalry anymore. But man, I loved this character. He was just, I loved his alt mode. I thought it was really cool that they combined two animals together, while you also had the Transmetal figures out there. And I also had the opportunity to meet Scott McNeil at BotCon. And, here I am with Gary Chalk and Scott McNeil, and we're having a conversation, and it was just, Gary was hilarious, Scott was hilarious. It was just a really good time. So it was like here I am, I get to meet Scott McNeil, a guy whose voice I loved all the parts that he played, from Proto Man and Dr. Wily to Dinobot and Waspinator and, Koga and Inuyasha. And I mean, I can go into some deep cuts here, for the stuff that he's played. But seeing, finally getting a new Silverbolt figure, he's not had a new figure really since Beast Wars. And as much as I like the Generation 1 Aerial Bot, I really, really dig the Beast Wars guy. So, I'm super excited. I'm, really, really excited for this. And that really brings me down to the wave listings for what's supposed to be coming out of Legacy next year. Now, mind you, this is speculation. We already know what Wave 1 is. The Commander class and Titan class is rumored to be, one of them could be Magmatron, one of them could be Tidal Wave. We don't know which one is which. There's rumor that around the time of Wave 3 is when we're going to find out when the Titan or the Commander is. And Tidal Wave himself is supposed to break apart and merge with the Legacy Armada Megatron. And the Armada Galvatron is going to actually show up later on in Wave 3. So if you're an Armada fan, this is great for you. Same thing with the, if you're an Unicron Trilogy fan, you've got Cybertron, Starscream, and Vector Prime, which is interesting because those two figures, they had the Supreme class figure back in the day, and I didn't get that one. I ended up getting the Vector Prime 2-pack with Starscream, but I hated the fact that the Starscream was in reverse colors. In Japan, they released it and actually show accurate, so to actually have a Voyager class of that would be really cool. But again, I'm not really big into the Unicron Trilogy, but I'm really happy for Unicron Trilogy fans, and that goes for pretty much every continuity with Transformers Legacy. They're bringing in new versions of people's favorite characters from different genres and generations. Wave 2 of, Legacy United has a lot of Generation 1 bots that I'm very, very interested in. Beast Wars Silverbolt is in that wave. So, and I'm going to say, I want to clarify this. Beast Wars it made itself a sequel to G1, but it is not G1. So, you need to separate them. It's like you can't say Robots in Disguise 2015 is part of Transformers. It is Transformers Prime. No, it's not Transformers Prime. It's part of the Aligned continuity, so it's in continuity with Transformers Prime, but it's a different series. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Beast Machines. Beast Machines is a separate series that's a sequel to Beast Wars, but it's not Beast Wars. So that's just, kind of have to make sure you delineate that way. But still, I'm very, very excited for Gears and Sure Shot being able to complete the Target Masters, having a G1 mini bot, which means that we're probably going to see a Swerve figure in the future. Sandstorm finally getting a good, hopefully a very good triple changer out of him, because I didn't like the Thrilling 30 retool of Springer. I didn't care for that figure. And so I really want a good G1 Sandstorm. But Wave 3 here, you've got a lot of non-G1 bots that are really cool to see. Sideburn. Sideburn's a must for me, because I really liked Robots in Disguise. If anything, I think that the popularity of Robots in Disguise helped propel the popularity of the Unicron Trilogy, even though they're separate continuity-wise. So, when Robots in Disguise aired back then, so many G1 fans and Beast Wars fans loved it at the same time. And yet, it was different. It brought us back to the cars and trucks again, still had beasts. It was a good combination, but it wasn't in continuity with either of them. But it was still a fun show. Although in Japan, I think they actually made it, it's weird. It's a weird continuity flub thing it's a hard thing to explain. But maybe I might explain that in a future video. Which reminds me, I do want to talk about the fact that I am trying to make some new retrospectives of characters and some discussion videos. It's just taking me a lot longer to actually finish and finalize the scripts, because sometimes it's like I wrote out a whole couple scripts, and I'm like, I gotta rework that, I gotta change that, I gotta fix that, I got this to work on, and so I believe me, I've got some new stuff coming, and here you have Wave 4, which is going to be way out there in the future, And we're going to see, already we're going to have Leader Class Armada Megatron. We don't know what the Soundwave is going to be in Wave 4, but Slipstream is, for me, it's absolutely welcoming for that one. The G1 Optimus kind of doesn't interest me. It's going to interest some G1 fans who want a simplistic G1 Optimus, which maybe it might be something I might give to my daughter. Really cool. But Animated Motormaster, hey, if you already like that Animated Optimus Prime, now you've got the Motormaster to wait for. That's something exciting. I think it's absolutely exciting. I'm also excited for G1 Quake, so that we have a late 1980s target. Hopefully he's a double Target Master, and he's better than that Titan's Return retool of Hardhead. So there's a lot to look forward to. I even think that the Rock Armorizers are pretty neat too. This is a lot of variety, a lot of stuff we see. Like I was making mention of Transformers Legacy, Animated Prowl, and how I like this figure. I know some people are like hardcore animated fans and they hate this thing, and they hate fans who like this thing. I don't get it. But this figure is great. And I was trying to, come up with my own headcanon. I came up with a preliminary idea of like, hey, wouldn't this be a neat idea? Maybe if we add him to the Generation 1 mythos by renaming him as something, maybe Night Prowler. And some people are like, oh no, I don't care for that. And it's like, all right, I get it. Maybe he is Prowl, but he's not G1 Prowl. Maybe he is Prowl the second, and he is, whereas if you actually go by G1 mythos, there are familial relationships, so there are brothers and sisters, and you have the Autobot brothers that is Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. Six-Shot is the father of Quick Switch. So what if Prowl, the G1 strategist, is the father of, what we know of as Animated Prowl? And this Prowl didn't want to fight in the war that his father became a strategist in. So he became a ninja. Hey, it's still his same backstory, but it works to add him to the G1 mythos. And then maybe he teams up with his dad. You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to add it. I'm trying to be creative and imaginative with all of these different Transformers series coming together. Either you can do the multiversal portal, which I don't care for multiverse, and you can bring that all in, or you can, by having it like, I'm Prowl, and I'm Prowl, and I'm Prowl, like, I like the idea of having this one big, giant Transformers universe with one story that we can all, from all different generations, can enjoy together. Like, I like the idea of there being, let's say there's the G1 Sandstorm is a triple changer from Paradron. Well, what if Sandstorm from Generation 2 is only nicknamed Sandstorm, but his actual name is Captain Darude? And you probably know where I went with that one. See, like, kind of come up with ideas. And this is the same thing I want to do with some of my discussion and retrospective videos. I want to come up with some ideas that fans have been asking about, for the channel. Like, remember when I used to do Why Does Megatron Keep Starscream Around, or Who Became Cyclonus? I want to make those kind of videos just as much as I want to do a Red Alert or a Perceptor or Brawn or Scorponok, Vector Prime, Tigerhawk. Like, I could do retrospectives of characters till I'm blue in the face, but I can also do the discussion ideas. Things that Transformers fans have been like debating or talking about without being really negative about it, but opening the opportunities for Transformers to have more to talk about in the future. Like, let's keep this fandom going, and let's keep things positive, and let's look at this outlook for what we're seeing out of Transformers Legacy United in a positive light, instead of trying to tear down each other just because, let's face it, I don't hate fans who like the Michael Bay films, even though I don't. It is what it is. So, with that said, I want to know what you guys think about all this. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I have many more Transformers news, retrospectives, and more coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.